We are going to be underway on now mat 1. It's Richie Lewis, Alex Marinelli, part 3. Quick shot by Marinelli, and Lewis is going to have to sprawl. Marinelli looking for the throw already. Lewis is going to hang on to him, and a takedown right away for Alex Marinelli. Just 10 seconds into the match. They're on the boundary. They were going at it at the head, and Marinelli already has a 2-0 lead. Lewis to his feet, and out of bounds they go. Marinelli coming out, guns a-blazing. 2:38 to go in the first period. Lewis trails by a score of 2-0. A tripod up. These two have met twice this year. Marinelli won 6-4 in sudden victory the first meeting, and then won 3-2 in the Midland semifinals. Lewis will get out for one. Marinelli almost tried to throw him again. It is 2-1 now as they are tied up head-to-head. Marinelli loves his throws and loves to go a lot to the upper body. Lewis more of a finesse wrestler. So it's an interesting matchup once again. Lewis trying to sprawl down, look for an opening. We have 2:10 to go here in the first. Lewis trails 2-1. Shot by Marinelli. Lewis sprawls and gets out of the way. Down to 2 minutes. Marinelli came in as the second seed. Lewis came in as the fourth. Marinelli was knocked off in the quarterfinals by Michigan's Logan Massa. Lewis lost in the semis to number 1 Isaiah Martinez. A lot of hand fighting and head-to-head ties here. Lewis trails by 1. We have 1:35 to go here in the first. They'll back away from each other. They'll fix their headgear. Lewis shot on Marinelli. Has a single leg. Looking to finish it. Marinelli will sprawl away, and that's the strength of Alex Marinelli. Great defense in neutral.
It was a good shot by Richie Lewis, too.
He was deep.
That was I'm not sure what was more impressive, the initial shot or the reaction.
Well, we saw it in their first matchup, Mike, back at the rack. Lewis was in a lot of deep shots on Marinelli, and he was just able to get out of him somehow. Mat number 3 features Logan Massa and Evan Wick. Winners of these 265 bouts will face each other in the third place match. Losers face each other for 5th place. 50 seconds to go now. Lewis's back is towards the boundary. He still trails by 1. A lot of head-to-head ties here. Lewis trying to get an opening. Marinelli working. Inside tie for Lewis. Shot by Marinelli. Lewis sprawls and defends, and now it's a body lock attempt here from Marinelli. Lewis with the overhooks trying to defend it off. Under 20 to go. Lewis getting backed up. Moving around, trying to circle. Not too much movement. Might be a stalemate here.
Well, he needs to realize that he could get called for stalling, Lewis, if he doesn't circle in. So
he's going to circle in now to avoid the stall call. They're back towards the center. And the first period comes to a close. Richie Lewis trails 2-1. Here's the coin flip to determine who has choice. And it'll be Alex Marinelli's choice, so he'll choose down. And Lewis will get on top here and attempt to ride. We got a caution on Lewis, went a little too early. Now we're underway here in the second period. Lewis looking for the ride here. Marinelli gets to his feet. Lewis trying to claw lift now. Has his arms around the waist of Marinelli. He's still trying to tripod up. Lewis hooking his legs around the left leg of Marinelli. Marinelli's going to try to cut through. Is he going to get out? Lewis trying to bring him back down to the mat. He does. Nice mat return for Richie Lewis. Marinelli, though, in his base. Now to his feet. Lewis is going to let him loose. And Lewis actually cuts away all the riding time and actually gets it in his favor, but it's not a factor. 1:27 to go in the second. They're head-to-head near the center of the mat. Lewis trails 3-1. Shot by Marinelli. Lewis sprawls, trying to spin behind now, but he can't. Lewis and Marinelli back to their feet. Still working is Lewis. Heavy on the head. Less than a minute to go now. They will separate and circle around. Lewis has his right leg forward. Marinelli trying to go inside ties here. Back to head. Marinelli loves this position.
He's a tenacious wrestler. Sometimes you think he's like a 197-pounder the way he wrestles.
Marinelli tried an inside trip there. He's going to a lot of taps to the head. Lewis will back out. They'll circle back to the center. We're down to 30 seconds. Hand fighting. Lewis goes underneath. Try to get the underhook there. Again, physical shot by Lewis. Marinelli trying to counter, but he cannot. Lewis had a chance there, but Marinelli just using the strength and using his legs to back out. Down to 15. Shot by Marinelli. Lewis trying to defend, but he cannot. He's going to throw the whizzer in, so no change yet. Still 3-1.
Only 7 seconds left in the period.
5 to go now. Lewis hanging on to that whizzer. Marinelli going to throw him by. Is there a takedown? No.
That could be a miracle.
Lewis is going to say throw the challenge brick out.
That could be a miracle. It could certainly be a miracle. They were in bounds.
With 1 second to go, I would love to see a replay, but we're not going to be able to get it from up here.
And you know what?
I didn't even think about that, Mike. When they threw each other, they went out of bounds. I mean, Lewis might have ended up on top.
It would have been a miracle if it was a takedown. Now, the question to ask, the reason why Rutgers is challenging this too, because usually if the wrestler says, just throw the brick out, the coaches refrain at first unless they really think there's something to it, is because Rutgers does not have anyone in the championship tonight. So they don't need to save challenges for the championship.
That's right.
Right now, this is the biggest match at the moment. You have to use the brick. A good call by Pritzlaff listening to his wrestler. I also still legitimately think it was a miracle. I think it should be 3-3 going into the third, with Lewis starting on bottom in the third.
Mike, that would be absolutely huge because there's only 1 second to go here in the the second period. And if Lewis does get granted these 2 points for the miracle on the edge of the mat, it'll be 3-3, and I don't foresee Marinelli getting out with 1 second to go. And as you mentioned, Lewis would start down in the third and have a chance to take the lead with an escape, and then he would have to hang on for that lead.
The officials are looking at it.
This is going to be a very interesting call. I mean, and Mike, if they don't get it, I mean, I'm not going to be too upset from up here because frankly, I didn't see it because it was a split second. It might have been a split-second decision right there to determine whether that was actually a miracle or non-miracle.
Oh, they're going to be doing this replay 17 times over.
Of course, this is going to be very close. I mean, Lewis seemed extremely confident. He went as soon as he knew. I mean, I thought he was asking for water, and then he's like, throw the brick, throw the brick.
I'm pretty confident about it too, honestly. What I'm really interested in, what will the Iowa reaction
Usually when
be?
you're confident, Mike, it goes the opposite way.
I know, but I'm curious. Yeah, that is true. Okay, I feel very bad about this.
Okay, how about we just say we're going to wait for it to see what happens.
But I can't wait to see what the Iowa reaction is going to be if it goes Richie Lewis's favor, because we're in the Iowa section right now. They're going to explode.
By the way, update on Mat 3. Evan Wick is up 2-1 on Logan Massa with 1:19 to go.
Now, wouldn't that be great if
Lewis and Wick go after it for third place?
No, yeah, Lewis and Wick go out of it for third place. But then it's Massa Marinelli
for fifth. In a rematch.
In a rematch? Oh, my God.
No matter what, it's going to be no matter what, it's going to be they're going to be great matchups for the third and fifth place matches for 65, because that's why the NCAA said, hey, Big Ten, we'll give you 10 spots for this weight class. It's just that good. How about Massa now with the reversal? And now Logan Massa's up 3-2.
We'll have to say, the fact that the challenge is taking this long goes to show that the officials do think that
there might be something to it.
There might be something to it. Because if they, the way it works in wrestling is very similar to the way it works in football. You need conclusive evidence to overturn it. If they looked at it 4 times and said, it's not conclusive,
well, here's another thing,
we're not going to do anything about it, they would have said it by now. Right now, they're really deciding whether or not this is a two.
And also, Mike, you got to think of it too. It is also similar to football in the sense that the call on the mat was no takedown, and they weren't even thinking about it. And we're going to get a point for red.
2 points.
It is a 2 points. I thought I had one finger up. How about this? A takedown for Richie Lewis based on the Merkle. Right on the edge of the mat, and the Iowa crowd is letting us hear it.
Crazy. This is great.
The Iowa crowd is booing. 1 second to go in the second period. We are tied at 3.
And Massa looks like he's about to lose on mat 3.
We're tied at 3 over there. We're going to go to the third period on mat number 1. Richie Lewis and Alex Marinelli are tied at 3. Riding time not a factor. Lewis goes down. Lewis tripoding up. This is going to be a huge escape point. Lewis tripoding, and now Marinelli gets it back down. Lewis trying to get to his feet. Marinelli doing a good job on top so far. Lewis trying to get up. Up to his feet now. Lewis going to cut away. He's after one. And a 4-3 lead for Richie Lewis. Marinelli, shot. Lewis defends, body locks now near the boundary. 1:33 to go. Marinelli looking for a throw. Lewis trying to defend it on the boundary, and out of bounds they go.
That could be a very big stall call, Nick.
Lewis gets called for the stall. It's a warning, so no points yet. Lewis has to be active. Shot Marinelli. Lewis is going to have to be active on his feet here. 1:22 to go. Ronnie time's not a factor. Lewis, half shot there. Marinelli working inside. They'll separate. Back to center they go. Here we go. Lewis and Marinelli tied up head to head. 1:12 to go. Shot by Marinelli. Lewis sprawls now. Lewis up by one, trying to defend this shot now. Marinelli coming up with it. Lewis defending. Splits. No two yet. Whizzer in now. 1:02 to go. Lewis hanging on. Marinelli tries to go for the trip. Lewis sprawls again, and a 2-point takedown for Marinelli. On the boundary. Out of bounds they go. 57 seconds to go. Lewis goes down again. He's got 43 seconds to stand up. Actually, 42. Does not want a minute of riding time. Lewis has 42 seconds to stand up to avoid the riding time point for Marinelli. He tripods up. 52 seconds to go. Lewis now on his butt. Marinelli trying to hold him down. Lewis trying to cut away at the hands. Can he get up? Lewis up to his feet now. He'll cut away for one, and we're tied at 5. 40 seconds to go now. We got a tight one on mat number 1. Here we go. Lewis has his back towards the boundary. Has to be careful. Does not want a stall call here. Shot by Lewis. Marinelli reattacks. Lewis has his leg caught. It's a scramble now. Marinelli looking to finish with the takedown. Lewis has the leg hooked with his arm, trying to finish the scramble. No two yet. Under 20 to go. Still a scramble. Lewis hanging on the leg. Nothing yet. Now Lewis on top in a scramble. 10 seconds now. Lewis hops over, and he is going to get 2 points. Richie Lewis, the takedown. 5 seconds to go, and Lewis is going to do it. Richie Lewis beats Alex Marinelli. Chops at Tom Brands. Richie Lewis is the victor over Alex Marinelli. He is headed to the 3rd place match. What a victory for Richie Lewis. He gets his hand raised. He gets his payback. Richie Lewis, what a victory.